Write the equation for the inverse function and then state the domain and range of f and f inverse. So first we want to find the inverse of f of x equals 4x plus 3 over 7. So I have a three-step process that I'm going to use to find the inverse. So first I'm going to change that f of x to be y, just because the symbols are a little bit easier and y has more meaning to us. Then I'm going to switch the x and the y. This is what is making the inverse. Inverse functions switch their x and y values. And then I'm going to solve for y. So to get y by itself, I'm going to multiply both sides by 7. That gives me 7x on the left, and the 7's cancel out from the right. That leaves me with 4y plus 3. Now, I'm still trying to get y by itself, so I subtract 3. That's 7x minus 3 equals 4y. Then I'll divide both sides by 4, and I have y equals 7x minus 3 over 4. Let me correct my 4 there. Looked like a y. So this is the inverse of f. So we use the symbol f with a -1 to represent the inverse. So that's 7x minus 3 over 4. So we got the inverse function, and the rest of the equation is asking for the domain and range of our function and our inverse function. Now, the function f of x equals 4x plus 3 over 7 is a polynomial function, and more specifically, it's a linear function. And the domain of polynomial functions are all real numbers. So the domain of f is going to be -infinity to infinity. So we know that because it is a polynomial function. The inverse, remember, switches the x and the y. So the domain of the function is going to be the range of the inverse. So I know that the range of the inverse is going to be -infinity to infinity as well. Okay, so then I'm going to look at this function over here, the inverse. The inverse is 7x minus 3 over 4. That is also a polynomial function, more specifically a linear function. And so that's going to have a domain of all real numbers, or -infinity to infinity. And remember, like we said a moment ago, the x and the y values get switched. So the domain of the inverse is going to be the range of the function. So that's going to be -infinity to infinity. Thank you for checking out my videos. Have a great day.